delayed, and then they canceled the flight. We had to jump in a couple vans and run down to Dallas, and about midnight got there, got some sleep about 1 o'clock, and got up at 5 and had to catch a flight.
Commercial sucks these
Right
days.
now it does.
Yeah,
Yeah, it's a rough one.
it is not
But
fun.
we I've been around the world, so you're used to that.
Yeah, I
But
mean,
it gets a little bit more. You feel a little bit more exhausted as you get older.
because I bet with some of your travels, what's the strangest airline you've ever flown on?
Well, I flew on an airline in the Soviet Union.
Airflot or whatever?
No,
A
it
different
didn't
one?
have a name.
Oh,
And
KGB affiliate.
there was sheep and goats on it. That's true.
oh, I'm sure. I'm sure.
And there was a couple of just chairs sitting there, where you just sat in the chair. There wasn't no seat belt. There was no. It was like a, you know. So anyway, I've had some interesting ones over there.
I'm sure.
Yeah.
I'm sure you have.
Yeah, pretty crazy. All right.
What'd you think?
I thought we
last
wrestled
Saturday?
well. I didn't think we wrestled great, but I didn't expect it either. I just was glad that we won the close ones. It was really the difference in the score. 125, 157, and 174. Those were kind of some battle matches that we probably knew they were going to be, and we won them. So it was a difference, the difference in the outcome. They didn't have their 41-pounder. Who's one of the best kids in the nation. But in the end, I was hoping that, maybe we'd look a little bit further along than I hoped, and we wasn't, but that's okay. We kind of grinded out some really tough matches, and although it wasn't perfect, it was a good start being on the road. And I think in many years to come, I think we'll see Stanford on the schedule, which I want to do. I'd like to see Stanford on the schedule where we can add another California team like Cal Poly or just someone. There's got a lot of connections to Cal Poly and some of the coaches there. So I just don't think if you're going to make that trip to California, you need a tie in 2 dual meets.
I know you were excited about G. Feller, the way he'd been wrestling, and he caught one of their better guys. How did you feel that
It was
went?
from one guy to the next. It was just like, who are you?
Yeah.
Almost like he was Houdini. Like, how'd you do this? How'd you look so good and then look so bad? I just kind of odd, really just caught me off guard. Like, what happened? So we're ranking at 149 today. We're ranking at 41 today. You're welcome to come up. We'll be at about 4 o'clock. But yeah, we're gonna keep hammering away at those weights. Those are good weights, and not that we're disappointed with anyone. We just want to make sure that we keep everybody honest. And we got some guys that are heavy, and when you have to rank, you got to do things right, So until I'm seeing some real consistency in behavior about how they're handling weight and doing things like that, we're going to just keep ranking, Just, hey, we'll rank every week and before the dual meets, and these are 2 of the weights that we feel like if we're going to have some sort of a really good season, these are 2 of the weights that we got to be scoring at.
Was there anyone Saturday that was maybe the other way around, who you felt elevated their game under the lights?
I was pleased with Luke Serber, the first match out, heavyweight, beat a really good kid off the team, and then followed it up with a really good match, so that was exciting. I was excited for him. I thought Dakota Gear really kind of took it to another level, stretched his lungs out, unlike his ranking matches the week before. You just like to see the improvement, that if he was, his performance in his ranking matches, it's not good enough, do something about it, make sure your weight's under control. you just like to see him do something about it, right? I mean, and that's what we saw with his performance. But Luke Serber looked good. Outside of that, I love the battle matches that we won, but should we have been in them? You know, I mean, but I'll tell you, I've always said, you know, I'm never going to complain about an ugly loss, you know, or excuse me, an ugly win.
Yeah.
You know, I don't complain about them. You know, I like them. I like to see them, but you know, now you get an ugly loss, now it's a whole different world. You know, so anyway, I was encouraged by some of our wins.
Speaking of Serber, I mean, obviously a tough follow-up act this week with the defending national champion.
Well, Olympic champion.
Yeah.
Literally
Yeah.
the best in the world.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, I called that match. It was pretty unbelievable, you know, just the explosion he had late in that match and for the gold medal. I mean, it was incredible call. You know, I can't remember being that excited for someone outside of my team. You know, it was exciting. And hey, listen, what are you going to do? I mean, anybody can go out and lay down.
Yeah.
I mean, you better be ready to kind of throw a few punches and be ready to compete. He's not going to give you much respect. I don't mean literally punches, but he needs to feel some energy from you that is saying, "Hey, this kid is not bad." So
I mean,
I don't think he's there.
yeah. I mean, is that kind of the expectation for you with him going into this, knowing the talent that he's going up against? Just, you know, again, obviously you'd love to see an upset.
Well,
but,
I know his dad pretty well, and I think he expects a lot, you know, from the standpoint of just we're competitors. Let's be a competitor, you know. You know, it's just what happens if you win? What can that do for you? You know, so good kid, good wrestler. Yeah, it was an exciting time this summer watching him. Watching him win the gold medal.
Coach, going back to what you said about Dusty Hone and G. Feller, how have you seen them, you know, kind of buy into their role, knowing that, you know, they've got all these freshmen and all these other guys wanting to take their spot? I mean, even now it's not
You know,
safe. You have these ranking matches.
Yeah, Dusty's a mature guy.
Okay.
You know, he loves the school, loves his team, and you know, is going to fight, no question.
How have you?
You know, and he's good with, you know, he's good with whatever happens. Not from a standpoint of, you know, I shouldn't say whatever happens. I just say, you know, hey, and he'll deal with anything, right? Because he's that mature about it. So, you know, it's just a matter of making sure that we, you know, he's big for the weight. He's got to make sure he focuses on his weight. If he's going to perform at a high level, he's going to have to remind himself about being real focused on making weight properly. And G. Feller, you know, we saw him at 41 last year, and he seemed to be having a problem making it at Stanford. I don't know. Kid's got me, you know, I don't know. I think he's trying to make me old.
Is
Really,
Is
I
there
mean-
any discussion of him trying to drop back down to 41?
I don't know. I mean, that's up to him. But,
Okay.
I pull freshmen out. That means they pretty much stay out.
Okay.
we saw Carter made the trip out there. Is he officially cleared?
Yeah,
Okay.
got cleared last week. We feel real fortunate. Thank our compliance for being patient with us. It was a nice, received some nice, you know, it's good to get one of those where you don't have to fight all year for it, you know, so it was really encouraging.
Seemed like you had a handful of alums make it out to that duel. What was it like seeing DC and those kind of guys?
Say that again?
You had a handful of alums go out to that Stanford duel. What was it like seeing DC and those kind of guys?
Yeah, it was fun. We had a bunch of them out there. I mean, we had a bunch of guys. I mean, some old timers, Eric Weiss, and not Eric Weiss, but Ben Lee and had Crutchmer out there, and of course DC, and so several of them, and it was just good to see. You know, we had a nice time with them while we were out there.
Coach, going back to what you said about Serber, I think back to, the job y'all guys did with Derek White, who came in really undersized. And, is Derek White's success kind of serve as a model for Harris and Serber and
good.
these guys?
Yeah, I mean, they see it. Yeah. I mean, there's no question, and even going back to our Gilagayev, our Russian, I mean, we've had, that has been our success. Even Rushold, we had Rushold at Ponca City who bumped up and was started at 97, became a heavyweight. So we've had a lot of success with those big 97-pounders moving into heavyweight.
How have you seen Serber's kind of work ethic change from last year? I mean, he's training with AJ. I'm sure that work ethic kind of, influenced him probably quite a bit.
Well, I think so. You're training every day with the national champion. Doesn't hurt.
Right.
You get a few takedowns, and all of a sudden, you think, hey, I can do this. And he went pretty close with AJ last year. And they're not going as much this year because of the size difference. But he's got a good workout with Austin Harris, and that weight class isn't over by any means. Harris has been good for us, and he'll continue to get some opportunities. But hard to give opportunities when Serber's looking that good in competition.
So